So we're going to answer a few questions, but I want to just open by the last few hours of Adam Schiff has to be vintage Adam Schiff. I've never seen so many false statements, mischaracterizations made in such a short period of time. And when you look at the overall evidence that continues to come out each and every hour, it's more and more clear that without additional witnesses, that most of my Democrat senator colleagues should vote for acquittal. The demand has become so deafening from Adam Schiff that he needs John Bolton to appear that it must be even Adam Schiff questioning whether he has a case that is certainly worthy of a guilty verdict. But we'll be glad to answer any questions. We don't have any real statements other than just that small analysis. Any questions you have?
Senator Meadows, Congressman Meadows, Joe Manchin represents a state that voted for Donald Trump by 42 points. If he were to vote to convict the president, what do you think that means for his future in West Virginia?
Obviously, if you look at the states you represent, and this is a representative republic, that we have the privilege of calling home, it would be very difficult, I think, for him to vote for a guilty verdict and be able to explain that to the overwhelming supporters that the president has in West Virginia. The fact is that guilty verdict would be telling every one of those Trump voters in West Virginia that perhaps they made the wrong choice in 2016. But that's something that Senator Manchin's going to have to calculate on his own, and certainly as he's looked and evaluated it, he's a thoughtful senator and certainly one of the few that I would view as a possibility of coming across for a bipartisan acquittal.
The president's team has argued that if witnesses were called, this could drag on for months. You've heard Chairman Shiff say twice today. Now he's proposing this limited period, a 1-week period for witness depositions, similar to the Clinton model, he said. What's your reaction?
Unlike the Clinton model, you have very different calculations here. Of course, as our counsel has explained on the floor, you have lots of very serious and important questions about how far executive privilege would go, to whom it would apply, and to what extent. This would definitely be tied up in the courts. This supposed schedule that Schiff has just proposed, this would be a week and it would all be wrapped up, is just silly. Everyone knows that's not true. The president has to exert and defend that privilege because it's important to the institutions here. We have separation of powers. All those questions come directly into play. There's no way this would be wrapped up anytime soon. It would drag on probably into the summer, depending on how many witnesses were called. So the whole thing that he's proposing, he knows would not happen, and it's hard to listen to it with a straight face.
Yeah, and I think, Catherine, enough is never enough for my Democrat colleagues. You heard just a few minutes ago that the declassification of 2 phone calls, I would say the unprecedented declassification of 2 phone calls between the President of the United States and President Zelensky is not enough. Now they want 1 more phone call declassified. It's the request that continues to get made and never is satisfied. And so we also know that just getting counsel and getting depositions here, this is not a weak process. And anyone who's intellectually honest will know that there's no way that this could ever be done in a week, but it doesn't matter. They had the burden of proof to prove that the president is guilty. Obviously, they have not made that case. And when we see the evidence that's before the American people, there's no doubt that the overwhelming majority of the Senate will vote to acquit.
Congressman, at the risk of giving you flashbacks to the 1990s, an attorney for E. Jean Carroll, the writer who has accused the president of raping her many years ago, says that a dress that she preserved has DNA on it, and that the attorney would like the president to...
Is that a serious question?
It is,
I mean,
it's a real court case, sir.
We'll answer any other serious question.
It's a real court case, sir. And I'm just asking, Should the president submit to a blood test as President Clinton did in the 1980s?
We'll answer any other serious question from a serious journalist.
Excuse me, sir?
Personally spoken with any of the Senate Democrats who are considering acquittal? I've seen them talk on the.
Yeah, I don't know that it would be appropriate for for us to be discussing that with Democrats or Republicans, honestly, and so they have the responsibility to do that, and I think it's appropriate that they have those internal debates themselves. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.